I'm telling you, I was out. And then Lenny and the gang said, hold my grape soda. Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Photo Dave. This is Toypixx, and in this video, G.I. Joe Classified. It got me again, so I'm going to talk about why and show some examples, so you don't just have to see this lovely background for the whole video. Anywho, remember the QR code that's on the screen right now is so you can get your free action figure photography guide. I'm pretty stoked about that. It also signs you up for the Toypixx newsletter, and I finally got my first Toypixx newsletter out the door this past weekend. I was pretty stoked, pretty proud of myself. There we go, so there's that. And then stick around to the end of the video where you'll see today's Toypixx photo. Today is Monday, which is newest figure day, so you'll get to see a pic of my newest figure. You'll be able to scan that QR code and head over to the X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, so you can share your newest figure of the day as well. And then there is today's free Patreon giveaway, and just so you all know, everything I put on Patreon's free, so I call it that. I don't know why, but it's going to be on there. It's going to go with this video. You can go into Patreon. You can sign up to be a member in a free tier. There are tall and grande and venti tiers as well, because everybody loves caffeine. But yeah, that's the end of today's little check stuff out segment. So now let's talk G.I. Joe. Now, the reason I was out is because there's a lot of phenomenal stuff out there right now, and everything's clamoring for our money. And for me, as a guy that really loves the whole toy photography thing, I'm kinda lazy. Maybe I should do a video on that. I don't want to have to use my imagination to figure out how to make this hand work for that, or how to hide a waist cut and stuff like that. I just want to set up the figure, make things happen in the background, take a picture, and be excited to sit down and get to play with it. So, when G.I. Joe was starting to show that, yeah, they're just not going to come with extra hands and things like that, I started thinking, okay, everything else wants my money. With G.I. Joe not doing that, not giving us extra heads, I can back out. But my rule was, I was just going to get Joes with extra hands. So right now I've got Slaughter, and I've got the Hasbro Pulse Snake Eyes, the 00 one. Pretty stoked about that. I still love that figure. And I've got multiple other G.I. Joes, but when I consider my collection, I figured I'll get those. I'll get Rock and Roll, I'll get Chuckles, I'll get Glenda next year. I need to get Storm Shadow, the Walmart exclusive one, and then Mutton Junkyard, that kind of thing. And then all the figures that come with the Hiss Tank, they have extra hands as well. But that was really gonna be my G.I. Joe collection, and then PulseCon happened, and yeah, like I said, they pretty much said, hold our grape soda. Okay, now the first thing I noticed, and to be honest, I noticed it a little later than I should have, was General Hawk. Now correct, he does not have extra hands or extra head or anything. He's General Hawk, so he's cool. I mean, I love all the G.I. Joe characters, I can't buy all the things, so I had to put in place a rule. But here's what I noticed on General Hawk that I think is a first in the line when it comes to regular-sized figures. Serpentor had this, Bazooka has this, all the females somehow have this in the line, but they couldn't do it with the regular-sized males until Hawk, it seems. They gave him the diaphragm joint and the ball peg waist. And you have no idea how stoked I was to look at that and to finally see that that was going on, because truly, I did not notice that when the first pics of General Hawk came out. And just to be sure, I got a hold of Tony on the G.I. Joe team just on Instagram. Yes, you know, I have his number. Hey, Tony, what's up? No, that's not at all it. I just commented on a picture he put up, and I said, hey, does General Hawk still have the ball peg? And he said, yes, he does. So, there you go, folks. We're getting regular-sized G.I. Joe figures with basically Moth-X style articulation, minus the toe joint, and I am so stoked about that. Even though right now it's just Hawk, and one later figure. Besides the females and huge characters, of course. Okay, next we've got Quick Kick, and no, he doesn't have Hawk's crazy cool torso articulation, but he does have a few extra hands and an extra head and a frozen fudgy bar. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I want to see from Classified moving forward with Hawk's articulation. It's incredible. Quick Kick's coming with world building stuff. He's coming with extra expressions. He's coming with extra hands. He is exactly what I want out of this line. This is the stuff. This is where you start to see, and maybe not, but my guess is yes, there are so many smaller toy companies coming up and just starting to really give the big players a run for their money. And so the big players are having to pivot a little bit and be like, oh man, okay, we got to make sure they're getting their money's worth here. Now, granted, G.I. Joe has done that for a long time with their weapons, with their loadouts and everything, so I don't want to bust them on that. But now they're seeing everyone else is coming with extra hands, everyone else is coming with extra heads, and they don't want to fall behind. And that is perfect for me because I've always loved G.I. Joe, and I don't want to see it fall behind. And they're showing us that they're not gonna fall behind, and Quick Kick is a huge example of that. Okay, next on the list of why I'm really stoked about G.I. Joe right now is Big Boa. I love that they're giving us an old school boxer looking figure with the tooth out and all that stuff. Knocked out. I don't know, you know he was supposed to be Rocky's enemy, right? So maybe we can just pretend Sly did that. I need to stop getting off track. Anyway, Big Boa coming with dumbbells is insane. I love that. I know he doesn't have his old school punching bag. I'm not an all 80s all the time kind of guy. I really wish that a lot of these lines would start getting a lot more modern. But, you know, Cobra, on the other hand, tends to have what I would consider more timeless uniforms than G.I. Joe does, which has nothing to do with the dumbbells. Dumbbells are cool, and I can see Big Boa just picking those up and knocking some people out, and it would be fun. With that extra head, it's great. Extra hands, yeah, he still doesn't have the Hawk-style articulation, but I feel like Classified's starting to move in that direction. So, yeah, Big Boa, another reason I'm a big fan of what Classified's doing right now. What's this? It's like I'm an evil genius, evil mad scientist. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! That is not at all a mad scientist laugh. And ladies and gentlemen, here she is, the first lady of G.I. Joe, the classic styled Scarlet that's coming up next year. Oh, she looks so good. Now, she's really no surprise. Everybody knew when Glenda was announced that we'd be getting this Scarlet, but the fact that she has the extra hands that Glenda has and all the accessories and the ponytail that can move for her backpack, I don't know. Again, I'm not all 80s all the time, and now that we have this Scarlet, I feel like the next Scarlet can be a little more out there and a little cooler, but there is something cool about the classic design. Yeah, I know, I'm an enigma, but really, I am super excited for this, all the extra stuff. The fact that she has two extra hands, honestly, you have no idea how stoked that gets me. I was sitting back trying to figure out why didn't I back the Dragonfly? Why didn't I want it? And it was because I think, and I truly think, and this is going to sound nuts to most of you, there were no extra hands on most of the figures except for Glenda, which is why Glenda is going to make the collection, and Wild Bill isn't. Very, very weird times. But there is one thing about Scarlet and the next figure that I don't necessarily like, and it has nothing to do with the figure themselves, it's the stands. Because I enjoy taking pictures of these things, I enjoy maybe getting their feet in on the shots, and if there's a stand there, it doesn't really sell the shot all that well unless you're really covering it up and all that stuff. So, whereas a lot of people are really stoked about stands, believe me, I know I don't speak for everybody, I kind of just see them more as a cost saving for the company than I guess, a value add for the consumer. My brain, it's on pause. And now, the last thing so far that's been announced that has me really excited about what G.I. Joe Classified is doing in 2024, Conrad Hauser, yes, ladies and gentlemen, Duke. Ready for some hot takes? Duke is the worst character in G.I. Joe. He's the most generic POS out there. Yes, that is his primary military specialty, POS. That is not nice. However, Duke sucks, so it's okay. But they nailed this Duke. He is one screaming head sculpt and maybe a pair of relaxed hands away from absolute perfection. This thing is incredible. I think it looks great. I love that he's the last guy, or he's the other guy, that got the same articulation that Hawk has. This is why I'm really hoping they're going to start to move toward that articulation scheme. I think it looks really good. And again, photography guy. This is kind of what I enjoy doing about this whole hobby. So the better the sculpt looks, the articulation points, the better the photos look, which is why I just love that articulation. But now I'm rambling. Duke himself, I don't know. I mean, they crushed it with him. Now, Duke does suck. He's a terrible character. So I want to make sure and keep that separated. The figure, they killed it. The character is awful and should be retired. I'm the only person that is sad that he didn't actually die in the G.I. Joe movie. Well, I'm sorry, that's probably not true. Kyle Peterson is on my team here, and here's why. Flint is the man. Yep, I'm gonna give leadership of G.I. Joe to Hawk, but Flint is the best G.I. Joe. So with all the things that I've talked about so far that I'm really stoked about, that we've seen previews for coming out in 2024, I want to fire off now my ultimate want for the G.I. Joe Classified line. So hopefully, if Lenny or Tony or Emily or any of the team ever see this video, maybe a few years from now, they'll have said, I wonder if he liked that because we did it. But here it is. We need a Flint. Now, classic Flint's great. If they did them like they were doing Scarlet and Duke, that's fine. I'm good with that. But the last Flint, the first Flint they did in Classified, felt a little clunky. I don't want a clunky Flint, but I wasn't upset about the fact he had a more modern take. So all I want from this Classified line is the same type of articulation we've got with Hawk and Duke. I'd like extra hands, maybe an extra head, definitely with or without the beret, either way, but he does need the beret because Flint probably needs a shotgun, some shotgun shells, maybe a rolled up black shirt. But you know what? Lenny hits those design cues, so some people I'd look and be like, oh man, I really hope they do this, so I know that it's going to be Flint. The way Lenny does things, I know we'll all see Flint when hopefully this eventually gets made. But what I want is an ultra-modern take on Flint, maybe even a little futuristic. I'd be cool with that too. Give the man a laser shotgun, which makes no sense. Don't do that. Don't do that. Shotgun, I'm good with just a modern shotgun, whatever the case may be. But Flint is the man that deserves the Golden Boy title of G.I. Joe, not Duke. Duke's not even... I don't have a better insult than Duke sucks. So, you guys might have comments about that. Yeah. Guess I'll read those when this video's over. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are some reasons why I'm super stoked about G.I. Joe Classified in 2024 and beyond. My wallet, however, isn't happy, but me? I'll take it. Very excited about what this line's potential is right now and what it has to offer, hopefully, in the future. Now, comment below and let me know, what are you stoked about with Classified? Are you like me, and were you backing out until you saw new hands, and you're going, oh no, they've got me again? Or are you sitting here watching this right now thinking you, Photo Dave, are a highly, highly picky putz? And if that's what you're thinking, don't worry. I'm well aware. And now, let's get to today's Toypixx photo. And now it's time for today's Toypixx photo, and yes, friends, it is Monday, which, like I said before, means newest figure day. So, my newest figure is Chun-Li. I took this shot. I enjoy the crap out of Jada's Street Fighter 2 line. Ultra, I believe, is in there as well. I'm just really excited about what they have to offer as well at the $25 price point. It's like Classified and Street Fighter 2 are throwing down. And in the mix, Chester Cheetah. Dangerously cheesy. So scan the QR code, comment with a picture of your newest figure. This will take you to Twitter or the X, like I said again on the onset. And let's just have some fun. Let's enjoy, because that's what this is all about, right? Yeah, I think so. That's what I like to have it all about. Anywho, on to the Patreon freebie. Today's Patreon freebie, which, again, everything on Patreon's free. There's even a free tier. Seriously, go join it. Have some fun. It is a jungle scene where you've got a bunch of people looking like they're going to charge down a hill, attack an enemy, all that. I figured it was perfect for today's video. So what you'll do is you'll take this, you'll download it, and you can set it up on your desktop, on your laptop, wherever you set it up, and then stand some figures in front of it and use it as a background. It's one of those things that I'm creating to really hopefully help you guys get ideas about what to do with your action figures when it comes to toy photography, because again, that's why I'm in this game. That's why I figure you're watching the channel, so I'm doing whatever I can to help you out. So, there's that free background. Enjoy! If you want a jungle kind of background for your figures. Stop talking, Dave. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I've got for this one. So as always, thank you very much for taking the time to check out the video. It's always appreciated. And until next time, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.